Is the Shroud of Turin really the burial cloth of Jesus? For centuries, this artifact has sparked debate and controversy. Join us as we explore the latest scientific evidence and delve into the historical context of this enigmatic relic. The Shroud of Turin is a linen cloth that bears the faint image of a man, believed by many to be Jesus Christ. This cloth has fascinated believers, skeptics, scientists, and historians for hundreds of years. It's currently kept in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy, where it has remained since the 16th century. But its origins, authenticity, and the image it contains are still heavily debated today. Let's begin by diving into its past. The shroud first appeared publicly in the mid-14th century in Lirey, France. It was displayed by a French knight named Geoffroy de Charny and quickly gained attention. Over time, it passed through various hands, including the royal house of Savoy, who later moved it to Turin. Throughout history, it has been revered by many as a holy relic, a tangible connection to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. It has also faced deep skepticism, especially among scientists. Despite the controversy, the shroud has had a profound cultural and spiritual impact. Millions of people around the world have traveled to see it during rare public viewings. It has inspired countless works of art, books, documentaries, and theological debates. Churches have used it as a symbol of faith and reflection, while secular scholars have treated it as an archaeological mystery worth solving. In 1988, scientists conducted radiocarbon dating tests on a small sample of the shroud. The tests, done in 3 laboratories in Oxford, Zurich, and Tucson, suggested the cloth was made between 1260 and 1390 AD, far too late to be the burial cloth of Jesus. This created a major uproar. Many took it as proof that the shroud was a medieval forgery. However, not everyone accepted those results. Some experts pointed out that the sample used may have come from a part of the cloth that was repaired during the Middle Ages, possibly after fire damage. Others questioned the testing methods and the possible contamination of the sample. Since then, researchers have argued that the shroud might still be much older than the radiocarbon tests suggested. Let's look at the image itself. The most mysterious feature of the shroud is the faint, sepia-toned image of a man. The man appears to have wounds consistent with crucifixion, marks on the wrists and feet, a gash in the side, and bloodstains around the head, possibly from a crown of thorns. The body seems to have been laid out, with both the front and back imprinted on the cloth, as if it had been wrapped around the man. Scientists and image analysts have studied the image in detail. It's not painted, nor is it drawn in any traditional sense. Microscopic analysis has shown no brush strokes, pigments, or dyes. The image seems to be formed by a change in the chemical structure of the cloth's surface, as if it had been lightly scorched. Some researchers have described it as a type of photographic negative, which shows more detail when reversed in tone. In 1978, a team of American scientists known as STURP, the Shroud of Turin Research Project, conducted a major examination of the cloth. They used X-rays, ultraviolet light, infrared imaging, and chemical analysis. Their findings shocked many. The image on the shroud contains 3-dimensional information, meaning the brightness of the image changes in relation to the distance of the cloth from the body. No known artistic technique from the past or present can create this kind of 3D effect from a flat image. The bloodstains on the shroud also offer clues. Tests have confirmed the presence of human blood, and even determined the type, AB. This blood type is relatively rare but is common in the Middle East. Some researchers claim that the blood shows high levels of bilirubin, a substance found in people who experience severe trauma, consistent with someone who has been tortured or crucified. Advanced imaging has even detected serum rings around the bloodstains, which further supports the idea that real blood was used. Other scientific studies have examined pollen grains found on the cloth. Some of these pollens come from plants native to Jerusalem and only bloom in the spring, matching the time and place of the crucifixion. These findings suggest that the cloth may have once been in the Holy Land before making its way to Europe. In addition, Traces of limestone dust have been found that are chemically similar to limestone found in ancient tombs around Jerusalem. Now let's consider some alternative theories. Some researchers suggest that the image on the shroud was created by a form of radiation, possibly a burst of light or energy from the body at the moment of resurrection. This theory is not accepted by mainstream science, but it does attempt to explain why the image is so difficult to reproduce or explain using conventional methods. This idea supports the belief that the image was created by a supernatural event. Others propose that the image could have been created by a natural chemical reaction between a body and the linen, possibly involving gases released during decomposition. But this theory also falls short. The shroud shows no signs of bodily decay, and the image is far too detailed and precise to be the result of random chemical processes. Decomposition would likely leave stains and odors, neither of which are present. There are still those who argue that the shroud is a medieval hoax. They suggest it may have been created using artistic techniques that have since been lost, or that the bloodstains were artificially added. But again, scientific analysis has found no evidence of modern pigments or materials. The more we study the shroud, the harder it becomes to explain it away. Today, the Shroud of Turin continues to be studied by scientists, historians, and theologians. New technologies, such as 3D imaging, spectroscopy, and DNA analysis, are being used to uncover more details. One recent study used advanced algorithms to analyze the image's dimensions, suggesting that the man on the shroud was around 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighed approximately 170 pounds, and had Middle Eastern features. Another study involved analyzing DNA fragments found in dust and fibers on the shroud. These fragments came from various regions across Europe, the Middle East, and even parts of Asia, indicating that the shroud had traveled far and had been handled by many people of different backgrounds over the centuries. Despite all this research, the shroud remains a mystery. It stands at the crossroads of faith and science, challenging us to consider what we believe, what we can prove, and what may always remain beyond our understanding. It's not just a piece of cloth. It's a symbol of a deeper question. What if the story it tells is true? For many, the shroud is a powerful symbol of faith, a silent witness to the suffering and resurrection of Christ. For others, it is a puzzle, an artifact that defies explanation. Whether it is a miraculous relic or a clever forgery, the Shroud of Turin has left a permanent mark on human history. Its influence continues in art, in religious devotion, and in scientific curiosity. So, is the Shroud of Turin the burial cloth of Jesus? We may never know for sure. But one thing is certain, its mystery continues to inspire curiosity, devotion, and the search for truth. Thank you for watching. If this topic intrigued you, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos exploring history, science, and faith. And let us know in the comments, what do you believe about the Shroud of Turin? Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking the truth.